Okay, so we reloaded the save file. We already know their course, and we know their speed. So we're going to skip that part.
Schiffsschrauben, Herr Kaloy.
Oh yeah, the other thing, I want to make sure that I'm lined up perpendicular to the convoy. So we do more math. They're on a course of 253. Perpendicular would be 90 degrees from that. So 253 plus 90, which would be 343. Using the compass mod, I set my course to 343. Why is that important? Why do I want to be perpendicular to the convoy? Well, so that I can set the angle on bow.
Auf Seerohrtiefe.
I just point the periscope forward. Because I'm perpendicular to the convoy, I'm 90 degrees to their course. And I know they're sailing right to left. So I go in here and I set the AOB dial to 90 left. By the way, you were saying the font was too small. I was trying to tell you, you just have to grab the corner and drag it about, just like you would a window on your PC. So it looks intimidating, but up here we have target speed, which would be, as I showed you down there, the lower left window, speed, course, and distance. This is distance. The numbers on this dial are in hectometers, which is every 10 meters. 300 meters would be 3. 1 kilometer would be 10 hectometers. 10, 100. It's 100. 1 hectometer is 100 meters. And this would be the AOB dial. Now, the vanilla course dial that they let you play with does not function like a real AOB dial. I have put 600 hours into this game and I don't understand how the vanilla dial functions. But it does not function like an actual AOB dial. But, so we're using the TDC. Point the scope forward, in this case perpendicular to the convoy, set AOB to 90 left. The other way of doing this, just so you can kind of understand where I'm coming from here. So we're lined up with their convoy. On a course of 343. And there's their course. Now, if one of the ships was right here, that would be an angle on bow of 90 degrees left. if the targets were right here and my periscope were pointing in that direction, that would be an angle on bow of 180 degrees. So the other way of doing this would be simply pointing my scope at 270 relative, and as you can see, 180. It's a lot to take in at first, but it's one of those things, once you know it, you know it. And I have it around here somewhere. The mod maker actually published a manual PDF file that can help explain angle on bow a bit better as well. Let me see if I can get that posted to the manual mod channel. Got it. Posting it to the modding channel. But moving on. Speed, 7 knots. Range, we'll take that later, just before we fire. Inching up just a little bit more and then parking the boat. And praying that they don't hear anybody freak out. We're good. Okay, let's take a look at what we have here. C3, heavy freighter, lots of cargo, lots of tonnage. Tanker, always want to go for tankers. Prime targets, heavy tonnage. Now, in the actual TDC guide video that's up on Twitch that I shared in the Screenshots and Videos channel, I show how to do a synchronized shot, which is where you fire at multiple targets and try to time the launch of your torpedoes so that every torpedo arrives on target at roughly the same time or within a few seconds of each other. This is important because once that first torpedo explodes, bells are going off, everybody's panicking, the convoy will immediately hit the brakes and slow down to throw off any additional torpedoes that are in the water, and it's effective. I've had a lot of torpedoes sail right across the nose of a merchant because they had panicked and slowed down. And it takes a while for them to calm down again so that you can plan your next attack. So in general, it's just very time-saving to hit all of your targets at once before they have a chance to react. But I'm not going to do that in this video. I'm just going to go straight for how to use the TDC and set up your first attack. Another interesting fact, though, the vanilla tools still work with the TDC mod, and they will even help populate the mod. For instance, if I were to lock onto this ship, identify it, And if I were to run the chronometer, watch me set this to 0 on the speed dial. I start the chronometer, unpause the game. While he's doing that, I'll have my 2 engineers warm up the torpedoes. And stop. 7 knots. 7 knots. It populated the TDC. We'll do the same thing for range. (11 hectometers, almost 12 hectometers. If we go to the TDC, there it is right there. 12 hectometers. So I'm going to fire a salvo of torpedoes. They're still heating. Make sure that this switch is green. If it's red, the torpedoes will pull their data from the vanilla system, which is right here in the lower left. If it's green, they'll pull data from the TDC. So make sure that's switched on. Speed, range, angle on bow, all looking good. We'll take another range measurement because it has gotten closer. (10 hectometers). There's tube 1, there's tube 2. We'll set the depth to 2.5 meters. And when you're doing a salvo shot using the TDC mod, this gauge right here shows you the spread angle. If I were to decrease the range, notice how the spread angle increases. Because if the target was closer, the torpedoes would have to spread further apart in order to hit the same length of distance. This dial right here allows you to set the length of the vessel you're firing at. Our vessel is 145 meters long. So we're going to set it to 1, 2, 3, 4, 140 meters. And you can see that too is changing the length of the spread. So we'll try it. Well, we'll do 130 meters. Make it a little bit narrower at 10 hectometers. Then, when doing salvo shots, make sure that you hit this dispersion button to update the torpedo system down here with the information from the TDC. This is just for salvo shots. We're good to go. Aim at the center of the target, pull the trigger. Los! That second one might be a miss. Nope, it's a hit. Both torpedoes hit their target.